The screen flared to life, a stark white intrusion in the dim quiet of 10:43 p.m. A single, chillingly nonchalant text. I'll be staying at David's tonight. Don't wait up. No preamble, no apology, just a casual dismissal, as if informing me of overdue groceries. The words bled into the darkness, an epitaph for what we were. I watched them until the backlight faded, then typed a single, measured response. Thanks for letting me know. She didn't realize it then, but that was the last truly effortless breath she'd ever take, unaware of the silent storm I was already brewing. Our beginning was cliché, almost poetic, a shared umbrella on a rain-slicked campus, 12 years past. Her smile, a soft invitation, wrapped around me tighter than any rain slicker. She spoke of partnership, of trust, of building a life where two became one. And I, fool that I was, believed her. We built a fortress, trips to forgotten coastlines, dinners under starlit skies, secrets whispered into the quiet dark before dawn. I thought us unbreakable. My first fatal error, a foolish conviction in her incorruptible loyalty. The fissures were subtle at first, almost imperceptible. A phone suddenly guarded, its screen a private window. Laughter, not mine, a strange, distant music from behind a locked bathroom door. A perfume, alien and sharp, clinging to her clothes when she finally returned, hours past midnight. I crafted elaborate fictions to explain them away. I want to believe the lies I told myself. Then, the undeniable whisper in the pre-dawn quiet, as she drifted in and out of sleep. David, not a name from her office, not a long-lost friend. Just David. I didn't confront her. Not immediately. Confrontation, you see, expends power. Silence, however, collects it. So I began to watch, to wait, to learn. I delve into her carelessly forgotten messages, each word a breadcrumb leading me deeper into her web. I began to map the constellations of her lies, each deception a star in a galaxy of betrayal. Thursday nights, business trips that concluded not in hotel conference rooms, but at discreet addresses I had meticulously cross-referenced. And then, tonight, her message, so brazen, so utterly devoid of care, it almost made me laugh. Revenge, I've learned, isn't born of blinding rage. Rage is a chaotic, messy thing. True revenge, the kind that truly lingers, emerges from ice-cold clarity. At 11:05 p.m., with the house quiet as a tomb, I opened the closet door. Each hanger slid from the rail with a whisper, a faint metallic sigh. Dresses, blouses, coats, shoes, her entire curated existence, meticulously folded, packed, and sealed into impersonal cardboard boxes. Every pull of tape, a definitive click, like the final nail hammered into a coffin. By midnight, my car's trunk sagged with the weight of her displaced life. I drove through the skeletal streets, headlights carving temporary tunnels through the gloom, until I reached David's perfectly manicured townhouse. Lights out, curtains drawn. Excellent. One by one, I stacked the boxes by his front door. Every garment, every shoe, the anniversary jewelry I'd once chosen with such care, even her monogrammed toothbrush. A life, distilled to mere cardboard and delivered like an anonymous package neither of them had ordered. On the top box, I placed a note, carefully weighted. Since you're staying here, you'll need these. I didn't ring. I didn't knock. The exchange was complete. I simply drove away, leaving behind the silence, thick and absolute, that now filled my world. The first frantic tremor came at 3:07 a.m. Her name, a furious red against the darkness of my phone screen. I let it ring, and again at 3:09, then 3:11. 3 perfect beats of rising desperation before I finally answered. Her voice was a raw, jagged thing, edged with pure panic. Where are my things? Why are my clothes at David's? What did you do? I allowed the silence to stretch, letting her drown in the quiet, controlled calm of my breath. My voice was a quiet current against her storm. I thought you'd need them. You told me where you'd be. The silence that followed was a physical weight, pressing down. I could almost visualize the cold snap of realization behind her frantic words. David, waking to find her entire life, packaged and delivered by her husband, sitting on his doorstep. The meticulously crafted facade of her perfect little fantasy was not merely cracking. It was shattering. You humiliated me, she rasped, the venom barely a whisper. No, I said, my voice steady. You orchestrated that yourself. I simply turned on the lights. Morning arrived, heralded by a leaden sky. She stumbled in at 6, a disheveled wreck of smeared mascara and tangled hair. This was not the woman who once graced my quiet mornings with coffee and shared laughter. She looked smaller, utterly stripped bare. She started with a furious torrent of anger, a barrage of accusations. I simply let her burn it out, watching the flames consume themselves. Then, the collapse, a cascade of apologies, tears streaking mascara down her face, desperate, hollow promises that it meant nothing, that she wanted us. I listened, my face a mask of impenetrable calm. She spoke until her voice was raw, searching my eyes for any flicker of doubt, any crack in my resolve, until the crushing realization dawned. There were none. Finally, I slid a slim, legal folder across the table. Divorce papers. Already drawn, already signed by me. Her name, the only stark blank space left. Her hand trembled as she reached for them. You planned this, she breathed, her eyes wide with dawning horror. Yes, I confirmed, my voice a quiet echo of conviction. From the night I knew. You thought you were clever, I added, a ghost of smile touching my lips. I was simply patient. David, I knew, was a fleeting shadow. Men like him crave stolen moments, not the burdensome aftermath. By the time she grasped the full, irreversible scope of her actions, her carefully constructed world had already crumbled. Her carefully cultivated reputation, her fragile comfort, her illusion of security, all crumbled to dust. And me? I didn't raise my voice. I didn't beg. I didn't fight to salvage what had already festered and rotted beyond recognition. I simply walked out of the house I paid for, the house I would soon legally own, unburdened by her presence. People sometimes ask if I regret not exploding when I found out. If I regret not throwing her phone against the wall or screaming her betrayal into the silent night. No, such raw, momentary acts would have made me small, transient, easily dismissed. What I did instead, what I chose to do, made me unforgettable. She will carry the phantom weight of those boxes on David's porch, a perpetual, haunting echo, far longer than she ever carried love for him. And I carry nothing at all, only the quiet, satisfying hum of a life reclaimed.